Can you tell us why it's important to you to use the influence that you've gathered to build a legacy off
We're so excited. We're in New York for New York Fashion Week, and we're gonna show you a glimpse of behind the scenes of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and like all the cool shit in between. We've been doing dope shit with people we like since 2021.
the court? Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, we're in sports and entertainment, so we want to give you the real behind the scenes. We were supposed to meet our contacts between 9 and 11, so we showed up at 9:15. They told us it's 11 to 1, which is all good. We're just going to make some adjustments, have coffee in a coffee shop next door, and get back to it at 11.
You gotta make sure you are so flexible because oftentimes we have to bend so we simply don't break. So we're bending a little bit, and so we're gonna go have some coffee, like she said, at a coffee shop, and just little affirmations that you're on the right path sometimes. The address to this coffee shop is actually 222. So I'm also gonna look up what that angel number is because I don't remember all of them, but I know we're at the right place at the right time for something. So update, 222 means balance, harmony, and divine timing. So I know we're here for a reason.
Ready to rock and roll now?
Made it up to the 3rd floor. We're super excited to check everything out and see where all this like cultural meets durability and sustainability living in the showroom. So come check it out with us.
Look, I'm obsessed with these. They kind of look like stars and galaxy.
I just love like the different textures here. You know what's crazy, honestly, is the price point is such a attainable price point. It's not like, oh my God, this sweatshirt is $400. Like, I mean, these sweatpants retail are $90. Like, it's amazing. Have you seen the backs of these that enhance your game and develop your craft and awaken the power that you harness?
No, I love it.
Like, I love it. And little details like this, I love.
Oh, yeah. It's the little details that matter for sure. I love the textures and the patterns.
I saw someone with a black one. It's so tribal. Like, it makes me wonder, I'm curious about if there's any indigenous, like, origin for him specifically. Like, I know that's built in the brand, but...
The details truly do stand out in every single piece that was designed, though. Like,
well, this, again, with the indigenous, I mean, an ode to the indigenous people with, like, the moccasin-style boot is... I wonder where his connection to the indigenous people are. Is it more of an honor piece, or is it a part of his own heritage?
Tribe that he's from, because everything he says is like honor your tribe and stuff. There's a lot of like talk around that. I love like the big puppy logo piece up here though. Every detail is just immaculate.
I am my own muse. Hell yeah.
Check out the back of this. Like, I love the cape style with the zipper. I love the color. Yeah, blue is like one of my favorite colors to wear. All right, guys, we just finished up the tour.
Let us know what your favorite pieces were down below in the comments. Right here. Schools with extra trees and broccoli. What? Don't I be with J Money serving everybody?
I'm Ruben Gonzalez, the apparel designer at ANTA and Ayla with Kyrie Irving.
And I'm Mike Boo, the creative director at ANTA.
We love this. So obviously what you guys don't know too much about us yet, but what we talk about, where influence meets legacy. So can you tell us what influence you hope your designs and your creative direction bring onto the world at large? Like, is there any other meaning behind that for you?
Yeah, so working with Kyrie, a lot of our influences come from his life outside of the court. So he really wanted us to work with, his passions for skating and everything in the streetwear world. So that's really where we found our inspiration for this collection and a lot of the things that we do.
What about you?
I think working with Kai, I think the expression of the outfits is really what we were going for. So, like having that diversity and inclusivity was really important to us. So I think you can really feel through the collection that whatever pieces you find for yourself is something more expressive. Um, so that's what we hope to push with the collection.
Oh, it's definitely demonstrated. Is there a favorite piece in the collection that each of you have?
I love the long coats just because they're so impactful. And Kyrie loves the long coats. And, when we were designing them, it was almost like, what are people going to think? Is it like too crazy for something at ANTA? No, people love it. So we're super excited about it.
We're here today celebrating season 2. Can you tell us how you incorporate elements from season 1 while mixing it up but keeping it fresh and bringing in new elements into your designs?
It's a good question. I think there's a couple of pieces in here that carried over from season 1 to 2, but it's almost like they became camouflaged, right? So whether we put like the feather print on there, new colors, some key details, I think that carried over.
Yeah, we're trying to red thread from last season. So like you said, a lot of the prints, for example, all the linings on all the jackets, it's called family camo. Our graphic designer had Kyrie's family in mind, so everything has meaning behind it. So we're trying to do that in every season, bring some of those elements to create a story that, can be a world, Kyrie's world at the end of the day.
That is beautiful. From the outside looking in, we believe that the brand has this storyline. Like there's a lot of storytelling, and I think that's also indicative of the culture that it's picked up and derived from like the Sioux and Lakota, like Native Indigenous communities. Are there any pieces that are a direct inspiration from that heritage of Kyrie?
So Kyrie has given us so much direction, and when it comes to those, heritage moments, it's definitely important that it comes from him. So a lot of the trims that we use, maybe you can see later, on all the pieces are a direct reflection of his Lakota tribe heritage. But it's never like over the top because we also just want it to be a nod to his roots. Like everything else, everything is different pieces of what makes Kai the legend that he is.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. Is there anything that you want to share personally on how people can show up for you? How can people find you, connect with you, and just champion you and the brand on?
I'll let you take that one.
I don't have an answer that.
ANTA.com.
Yeah, ANTA.com. I think the beauty of this collection is that we want you to discover fire because it isn't available everywhere, right? So it's something. So, right, the scarcity. We don't want to call it exclusive, but it's there. But we want you to find it, support it, and tell your friend.
We need the support.
Yeah.
Support is something that we can give, and we love to give. And not only that, something before we end, and I thought I was done, but I'm not. What I'm so impressed by, especially when you have these brands that are championed by a lot of like athletes and entertainers, the price point can be so outside of an average consumer's price point, but the price point on these items is so attainable. Is there intentionality behind that, or is it just, hey, that's what the profit margins made sense for?
I mean, that's a directive from Kai. Like from the beginning, all the products that we created, that was a personal request that he wanted everything to be affordable, right, to all. So when we talk inclusivity, it's like it's considered across the board. So it's like everyone is part of the tribe, right? So you need to be able to have access to it, afford it. Yeah.
And for people that I think overcomplicate like the words, I think they've come up a couple of times in our conversation already of like diversity, equity and inclusion. Like that is DEI in its simplest form. Like you're just trying to make sure that it honors, it respects, it includes, it makes things accessible. And I think that's amazing.
Well, you'll be seeing a lot more ANTA in our personal styling collection. We're bringing it back to the A, and we're certainly going to be sharing it with our community and our clients.
That influence, like, how are you utilizing it to like do something different?
I'll reach up definitely.
Oh, there he is.
Ruben, Mike, real quick. Chief Creative Officer, Chief Creative, Chief Hala, welcome to your collection.
Thank you.
Season 2.
Back in this environment where I spent a lot of time, not just in the city, but just around the boroughs, playing basketball, being around my family, growing up in the Bronx, for a large portion of just not only my basketball playing career, but just human life and character development. And my dad and my family being integrated in the Bronx as well, and a lot of my dad's friends, becoming like uncles to me. What's up, bro? Yeah, just growing up playing against different guys since I was young, since I was a kid, and now being on this stage, I don't take it for granted. I don't want to misuse my voice or be irresponsible with it. There's a lot going on in the world at all times, so I'm always sending prayers up, always making sure that everyone knows where I stand and where my family stands when it comes to a lot of issues that are going on. There's no neutrality. We stand on the side of peace, love for all, and I'm about unity and making sure that if I can use basketball as a tool, then let's do that. But other than that, there are other interests and passions that I can connect with people through. So that's all. That's what this represents on a bigger scale. Just in short conversation with you guys. That's all.
Kai, when you first joined as creative officer for ANTA, did you ever envision and being anything like this, the where it's so thought out, broken out to different parts and pieces? Just talk to me about what that journey's been like.
Well, first things first was getting a contract that I'm going to start there, just because partnership takes understanding on both sides and, equity, and just not only your creativity, but owning your creativity and being able to land somewhere where that brand will respect you and honor your culture, honor your heritage, and allow you just to flourish and pour your art into it, right? And, art brings a lot of conversations, and I felt like ANTA at the time was doing great on their own. And once they came knocking at the door, and we sat down, had a few conversations, and then I met a few of the designers, and we had some conversations as well, deepening our relationships, and them getting to know me too on a human level. I just wanted to make sure I came in and introduced myself the right way, introduced my family the right way, and made sure that their families felt protected too, allowing them to be a part of this. It was about 2 years ago. Life is a little different. Perceptions were definitely a lot different around who I was and who I am, and I had to work through that. As part of my story, I have no regrets about it, but I've been able to learn a lot. And it wasn't just joining a sneaker brand per se, it was joining a family, and joining something that has sustainability and longevity. And I know all my accolades that I had at the previous brand I was with. I know the community that I was engaged with, and it's still the same, but the ethos has always been around, showing the maturation process too, showing the quote unquote ugly parts of the pretty parts that people don't want to talk about all the time, and I show that, whether that's me live streaming, whether that's through my branding, being authentic with people I see on the street, people I see anywhere in the world. I just feel like it's my conversation with them in that moment, and regardless if they buy any of the inventory or not, I'm still going to feel at peace, and I'm going to feel so satisfied because I built this off of just the love and whoever connects with it, So it took time to build it, and it's only been 2 years, man. So this is yet to come for sure.
Appreciate you.
When you began working on ANTA, what was the guiding vision you wanted the brand to represent?
A few different principles, but it really stemmed from just the foundation that I'm getting older, and I have a family, I have children, I have 4 children now, and I'm just honored to have a great partner, a great wife, and I just don't take that for granted. I spent a lot of my youthful years just being not so much chaotic, but questioning, staying curious, and not knowing where to safely land with all of it. So now that I've matured a little bit more, and I know that I have a whole youthful generation that's watching, I always want to make sure that they know that I'm looking out for them, and also that it's okay to make your mistakes while you're growing. Like it's perfectly fine. And then so on the branding aspect, it was just making sure that they felt that they were part of the tribe and that they were growing with this over time. You know, so it's again, a few guiding principles that I'll go deep into detail with as I walk around the space. It's easier to connect when I'm storytelling through that, but one of them, the main principles is just like not being afraid, no fear, and obviously God first always, but it's that family oriented environment that breeds the success. You know, I'm nothing without my ancestors, nothing without my family members that helped me along the way.
Thank you so much.
Randy,
Thank you.
question for you. Whatever. Are you on? What's the inspiration behind the cowboy boot sticker, and will we see it in the...
But you guys saw it? Yeah, there were some questions whether or not to show it or not. You know what I mean? It was like, regardless if you call it a wrestling boot, you call it a bad take on something that you saw in another brand or anything like that. No, it was just, you know, we have the freedom to create here, and that's where I wanted to show. And they enabled me to do that. I'm in Dallas, you know, Maverick, so it made sense anyway to try it. And I may not have gotten it right on the first time, but who knows what that could evolve into. So thank you. You know, some people will draw to it, some people like it, some people won't. And I love that conversation in general, and that's why I put it there. I want you guys to see some of the mistakes that go on behind the scenes and what can potentially come, and how that can grow from something you saw now into something in the future that you know look forward to seeing.
For sure. One more thing. Are we going to see it in the pre-game tunnel?
I actually can't. I think I can hoop in that shoe, but that'd be crazy, right? It'd be crazy to hoop in it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be being me without, you know, pushing the boundaries still a little bit. So who knows? Yeah, for sure.
I have a couple of questions for you. How does your role as Chief Creative Officer at ANTA Basketball allow you to operate as an entrepreneur and go beyond a traditional endorsement deal?
Well, it took a lot of experience in, you know, the shoe industry or just the signature shoe market to always saying this and referring to my team as I'm nothing without them, because throughout the year I'm grinding to be the best that I can be on the court. But as an artist off the court, I am a collaborative person, and I love having people thrive and compete behind the scenes as well for what they can create and keep driving that. So, you know, that's all I wanted, was to be able to create not just this quote unquote roster of people that are signed on to the brand, but I wanted individuals to feel that equity and not just buying the inventory, but seeing the story play out, seeing the connectivity there, and then seeing how we activate live in person engagement like this. You know, you may see me on live stream, you may see me on Instagram, you may see me on socials, but when you see me in front of you, this is what matters. And if we can activate like this more and use this brand to drive other purposeful intentions, then that's what it's for. So playing that position is important.
Great answer. And then you're bridging basketball, skate culture, and fashion in one shoe. Why was it important for you to merge those worlds?
It was easy to merge those worlds because it's just the attitude, it's the mentality, it's the connectivity that we all have as young people, where we all have grown up. I don't want to say idolizing, I don't like using that word, but admiring others in their journeys and wanted to be just like them, right? So whether it's dressing like them, speaking like them, whether it be the lingo, whether it be just a swag, whatever you call it, with the riz, whatever you call it in terms of just how you connect with people, then that should represent your family in Booyaka.
Thank you so much.
So you got my crazy to work people.
Y'all should close it.
I mean, we want to.
About my own. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you tell us why it's important to you to use the influence that you've gathered to build a legacy off the court?
Well, that's just something that's written in the DNA, given to me from my family and taught to me by my father and my mom, and just the amount of people that I've been around that positively influenced me. And as I've gotten older, I've taken their advice and applied it to my life in the best way I can. But ultimately, this internet age is a little difficult to navigate. yeah, 2025 has been a little difficult emotionally.
Right.
Last few years have been difficult emotionally. I'm not gonna lie to you. So leaving a legacy is definitely on the top of the priority list, but it's not at the tippy top. Like, just want to make sure I'm valuing my voice and where it's lended and where it's needed, and then also showing up for people, not just for the public display or public pat on the back. There's a lot of stuff that goes on that many of us don't know people are aiding and helping with. So I like being on that side of just doing things in silent, but also speaking up for things that matter and people that are oppressed or don't necessarily get the forward voice. I like being that person too.
So it's more than just the influence meeting the legacy, but you're utilizing your influence to create impact, which I think is far more, I won't say valuable, but I guess it is. It's just valuable. It's far more valuable. So you take this moment, you've taken your influence, you've taken your resources to intersect at fashion, at I mean, sports, all of it. Yeah,
I call it disruption of this new.
That was my word.
Yeah, it's disruption.
It's a
I'm a natural disruptor. I live in that space. That's just natural in my DNA, like disrupt, because certain things just, gotta change.
But not only are you disrupting, then I feel like your disruption has also kind of veered into this cultural stewardship that you're doing. So what is the intention behind the stewardship of your culture integrating your ancestors into this art?
God led first, but also these answers don't come just from randomness. They come from premeditated work, sitting down, meditating on this, praying on this, and also coming back into the public sphere, knowing exactly what I want my intentions to be. And sometimes you got to get silent to get the answers.